Hi, everyone. Welcome to Kiki and Kibitz. It's Mary, and I am here with my Saturday night shenanigans. Love During Lockup, Season 5, Episode 4. Sorry, Daughter in Law or Mistress. Just the title of the episode alone, you know that this is going to be a good one. But I didn't know as many bombs was going to be dropped during this episode as they were. So we're going to get into it in a minute. Just letting more people get into the room. I hope everyone had a good week. My week was kind of long. My husband and I picked up my son from college. My husband, he's a lunatic. Yeah, I'll say it. Hi, Jesse. Thank you so much. And he decided that we were going to do an 8 hour round trip when he got home from work in the evening. So we drove up to pick up my son, move him out of the dorm. We were moving him out at like 1 a.m. and we got home at 4:30 in the morning. So I was exhausted. Things have been crazy as usual on these YouTube streets. Lots of stuff happening. If you guys watch 90 Day, shit is a hot mess over there. Been kind of quiet over in the Love After Lockup, Life After Lockup land, but in 90 Day, it is fucking crazy. So if you guys watch 90 Day, check out my videos. So I guess I'll get right into this week's episode of Love During Lockup. I like this season so far. It's pretty good for Hot Mess Expresses. Even though some of these storylines, we all know how they're going to end. But for the train ride, it's a pretty good train ride. Yes, he did. He wanted my son home immediately, and he is a very good man. I appreciate him so much. 90 Day is a dumb fire. I agree, Kat. It is a shit show. And it's even more of a shit show behind the scenes. Okay. So let's hop into what's going on with Love During Lockup. I think I want to start with Shante and True. Okay. Because this girl is getting played by him, and even her daughter has more sense than she does. Like most of the kids on this show, they have more sense than their parents. And it's like, what the fuck? But let's start off with her. So she's wondering why her pictures keep getting returned. Okay. She sent him an envelope full of innocent pictures. I mean, her boobs were showing in one of them, but at least the nipple wasn't showing. So that's okay. And the pictures got returned back. So she's like, what in the actual fuck? This has never happened before. I need to know why my pictures are being returned. So she decided to call the prison. Okay. Conveniently, she called the prison, and the person on the other end of the phone is like, where's my phone? Guys, hold on. Let me go get my phone. So she calls the prison, right? And she's all like, I need to know why my mail was returned because I didn't send any explicit photographs. So could you tell me why my mail was returned? And the person on the other end of the phone is like, well, it could be, hi Jazz. Thank you so much. I have to light my blunt. It could be one of two reasons. Your loved one could be in solitary confinement. And she's like, no, he's not in the hole. Or he received something explicit that he shouldn't have gotten. And now, basically, he lost his male privileges. And she's like, oh, so what you're saying is that he probably received something he shouldn't have received. And the guy on the other end of the phone is like, yes, basically. So her daughter is like, what are you going to do about this? And her daughter says that her mom seems to rush into relationships way too quickly. She gives, and doesn't have it reciprocated. And I'm like, girl, you are smarter than your mother. Can you knock some sense into your mother? So True, she's like, I'm going to confront True because What would seal the deal is that if he was talking to somebody behind my back. Mm-mm. I can't deal with that. Girl, I hope that would seal the deal. The fuck is wrong with you? So anyway, True calls and she's like, True, I had some mail returned to me. Do you know why the mail was returned? And he's like, What are you talking about? And she's like, I had some pictures returned to me. He's like, What kind of pictures? She's like, Normal pictures. Do you know why they were returned to me? And he's like, I have no idea. And she's like, this doesn't make sense because if you're restricted from receiving mail, they would tell you. And he's like, I don't know. I don't know. And you could tell that he's trying to come up with an excuse. Okay. And he's like, Listen, maybe it was my man, three braids, two braids, whatever the hell his name is. I asked him to send me some pictures of the females that he be talking to because he claims that he has these hot females. So I said, All right, three braids, send me the pics. I want to see what kind of females you're talking to. And Shantae is like, What? Why would you want to see pictures of some females that your friend is talking to? Do you want to start talking to them or something? And he's like, No, I just wanted to see them. And I guess maybe that's what got me into trouble. I really don't know. And all I can think is liar, 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 pants on fire. So he's like, I'm not going to get into this with you. All I know is I didn't do nothing wrong. I didn't have no pictures sent to me, so I don't know why my mail is being returned. And then he says, I've only been attracted to white women. I've only been with white women, but I am attracted to Shantae. She showed me what it is to have love and loyalty. It took me to go to jail to realize what love and loyalty is. Now, I've said this before. Love During Lockup producers have unprecedented access to this dude, okay? They were in the prison kitchen watching him cook. They're actually doing his confessionals face to face. So that's one thing I find highly amusing, okay? Because this has never happened before. And secondly, you can see that that motherfucker was lying, okay? Liar, 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 pants on fire. And yes, I agree. She is going to have a white side chick watch, Jazz. Totally agree. Okay. Because we know once that motherfucker comes out, he's going to want himself a white girl. No matter what he says about Shantae, he's going to want himself a white girl. Okay. You know this, and I know this. So she doesn't believe him. She doesn't believe him. She thinks he's full of shit, but she wants to be with him. So, more power to her. We know this is going to be a hot mess train express. Okay. Um, I have a feeling this is going to be one of the couples that's going to roll over to Love After Lockup, but we shall see. Next, I want to talk about Andrew and Candice. Andrew is an asshole. He is a total simp. Okay. If he can't see what's going to happen at the end of this train ride, then he deserves everything he gets. Okay. This guy has furnished a whole apartment, went $1,000 over budget on buying furniture. And by the way, I have the same sofa. My sofa reclines though. I don't know if his does. Okay. He bought all this furniture. He got all the shit in the back of his truck, the fake Louis Vuitton bag, the phone, the makeup, money, you name it. And this chick has no intention on moving back to Jersey with him. No matter what she said in her little prison pal website profile, she has no intention of leaving Nevada. Okay. And this dude better open up his eyes. Spoiler alert, they are not together. Candice married somebody else. Go check out Starcasm for all the details. But he needs to open up his fucking eyes because Even like the girlfriend, Candice's friend, Denise said, Candice is going to run all over him. Okay. He gives her whatever she wants. She says jump. He says, how high, dear? Okay. So even her friend knows that she is going to steamroll all over him, eat him up, and spit out his bones by the time she's done. Okay. But this motherfucker is like, so, oh my God, I love her. As soon as she walks out those doors, I'm going to get down on one knee and propose to her. And of course, she's probably going to take the ring because that'll be something she could pawn once they break up. So we know how this is going to end. And I find myself having a hard time watching their segments because it just reminds me of all of the other simps in the past. Chaz with Brandwin, and this chick definitely reminds me of Brandwin. She's an empath like Brandwin was. She feels everybody's feelings around her and it gives her anxiety. Yeah, Brandwin said the same thing. Hi, Vanessa. How are you tonight? And yeah, she's so worth it. $15,000 after $15,000, 36 hours of driving, a whole house full of shit, but she is so worth it. Okay, you dumbass. Let's see what happens. Now, let's move on to Rick and Samantha. So, first of all, Rick has his issues, and the last thing he needs is to hook up with Samantha, marry her, whatever the game plan is, because both of them are not on the same page. She is absolutely right when she says he has one foot in and one foot out, because Rick one foot still wants to be a player with the ladies and hook up with all the chicks from high school at the reunion and be, Rick the stud. And the other foot wants to marry Samantha, loves her, etc., etc. I think that he asked Samantha to marry him on a whim, okay? And he didn't really mean it, honestly. That's my opinion. And Samantha is not happy that he's going to his 40th, I think it is, or 30th high school reunion, because the last time he went to the reunion, he was Rick, the drunk stud, hooking up with women. And we find out when he gets to his reunion that there's two women vying for him. Okay. We have Sandy, the one that he hooked up with at the last reunion, that called him to make sure he was coming. And he lied to Samantha about that. And second, we have Carol, okay, who Rick couldn't remember if they hooked up in a parking lot. He knows they hooked up, but he couldn't remember where, when, how it happened. I'm like, what in the fuck is happening? Alcoholic blackouts. Okay, that's what was happening. And Samantha is worried, and she sees this reunion kind of as a test for Rick because of the alcohol and the people hanging out and drinking. And, she sees this as a test for him, especially with all those hoes that want Rick to stud. Okay. So Carol gives Rick a solid 7.9. You could tell these bitches were drunk off their asses and all they wanted to do was to hop on him. Okay. So what I don't understand is that Samantha wasn't happy with him going to the reunion, period. And he picks up the phone while he's surrounded by all these hoes that want him. I'm drinking soda, by the way. So he picks up the phone. Samantha's like, what are you doing? He's like, oh, I just got here. I haven't had a chance to talk to a lot of people. But yeah, I just got here, just chatting and whatever. And as he's talking, Sandy, the girl that he hooked up with at the last reunion, sneaks up behind him. It's like, hey, What's going on? Who are you talking to? And he's like, say hi to Samantha. And she's like, so are you and Rick boyfriend and girlfriend? Because, Rick hasn't really told me anything. And Samantha's like, really? He hasn't told you anything? And Sandy's like, well, I want to hear it from your mouth. So Samantha tells the story, and Samantha's like, did you tell her we were engaged? And Sandy's like, no, he hasn't mentioned that. And Rick is standing there looking uncomfortable AF, okay, like he wants the ground to like swallow him up. And he's like, well, I just haven't had a chance. I'm not going to walk into the reunion and say, hey, I'm engaged and have all the attention on me. And no, I didn't have a chance to do that yet. So, Sandy, let me tell you, Sandy loves Rick. Carol loves Rick. Sandy says that if she had a chance to basically hop on that, she would. But now that he's not single anymore, oh well. But she's not wanting to jump in between people's relationships. But she thinks, Rick may be taking this way too soon, diving in head first, and maybe he needs to take a step back. So Samantha's like, listen, you better stay out of those bedrooms, stay away from those hoes, you better not drink anything. And he's like, listen, you are the one that gave me the confidence that I needed. Okay? My confidence was all fucked up until we reconnected. And now you are the one that gives me all the confidence. And don't worry about it, baby. I love you. Okay? And Samantha actually shares a little bit of news that either Rick would have to relocate to Idaho, or she could relocate, but she's not planning on it because she has granddaughters that need her, grandchildren that need her. Okay, so Rick is going to have to relocate, and Rick says that he can't afford to relocate. Okay, he's on a pension, and when he was planning his pension and planning his life out, he was only planning it out for one person. So he really doesn't have the funds, and he hopes Samantha understands. I don't think she's going to understand. Just saying. So now let's move on to the idiot of the episode. Okay? Ayana, I'm sorry. This girl, she got the crown for the idiot of Love During Lockup for this season of Love During Lockup. Okay? She, I'm just shaking my head. I have to light my blunt again. It's the day before her sentencing. Her brother is driving her to the park so she can meet Jamal's mom and his sisters. It's been a long time since she's seen Jamal's mom, since the last time she's seen her as the friend of Jamal's ex, who happens to be her ex bestie and one of Jamal's baby mamas. How many baby mamas does Jamal have? We'll get into that in a second. So she's in the car talking about, it's such a bitch that she's going to have to go to jail for driving high and pay her consequences. What the fuck is wrong with the justice system? Come on. How dare they do this to her? And then Jamal calls, and her brother is like, hey, Jamal, what's up? So you plan on marrying my sister, right? And he's like, yeah, I do. But in like 2 years. And she was like, wait, what? We're waiting 2 years for 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 what? And he's like, to get married. I want to have like everything all settled and, get things going and blah, blah, blah. And she's like, this is news to me, Jamal. You're acting weird right now. This shit is news to me. I thought the minute you walked out of that prison, we were going to get married on the sidewalk. Like, this shit is news to me, Jamal. I don't like this. I'm about to pull up on your mom and your sisters, and you're telling me it's going to be 2 years before we get married? So she pulls up and she's like, "Hi. It's been a long time since I seen you." And then that's where the title of the episode comes in. Jamal's mother looks dead at her and goes, "So, are you going to be the daughter in law or the mistress?" And I'm like, "Oh, shit." And she's like, "You know my son. You know my son is a ladies' man, can't keep his dick in his pants. Do you think this is going to work? Do you think this is really going to work?" I agree, Rhonda. He wants 2 years of freedom. He wants to be able to run the streets, do what he wants to do, and then maybe he'll consider getting married. I totally agree. So Jamal's mother is like, "Do you think this is going to work? Knowing my son and knowing what you do and how people like you in your line of business could be?" And she's like, "First of all, I've done this for 7 years. There's not a pickup line I haven't heard. And second of all, yeah, I know Jamal's a ladies' man, but he's not going to be a ladies' man with me." Okay? And the mother just, is looking at her like, "Yeah, okay." And Jamal calls, and Jamal's like, "Oh, what do you guys think of Ayana?" Whatever, whatever. And it happens to slip out that Ayana is going to be his second wife. She's like, "What? Excuse me? I didn't know this. You never told me this." And he's like, "Yeah, I was married for 6 months. I got married through my religion because, we're not allowed to date in my religion." Okay, so Jamal, you're not allowed to date. Explain how you have 6 kids from 4 baby mamas. Yeah, 6 kids from 4 baby mamas. And Ayana, the princess of stupidity, says, "Oh, I'll be lucky number 5." Excuse me? What in the actual fuck, girl? And she's more concerned about her being the second wife, not the first wife, than the fact that her man has 6 kids from 4 baby mamas. And she wants to give him a seventh and be the fifth. Even Jamal's mother was looking at her sideways when she said that. Like, what in the actual fuck? Okay? And I can't. I cannot. I cannot. So it's their connection that's going to keep them together. Every fucking couple on this show says, "Oh, it's our connection. That's why I love him, or that's why I love her, because we have such a deep connection." Mm-hmm. You have such a deep connection. He conveniently forgot to tell you that he was married once before to his baby mama. Yeah. The woman that he was married to is one of his baby mamas. So Ayana feels a type of way because he's friendly with her. And he's like, "Yo, that's co-parenting. Like, she's one of my baby mamas." Ayana's ex-bestie is one of his baby mamas. She is never going to be able to get rid of any of these women. They will always be in Jamal's life. Okay? And she is just like more concerned about him not telling her that he was married for 6 months. Girl, I would be more worried about him having 4 baby mamas that will be in your life forever. If you ever get to marry this dude, you will have 4 baby mamas. And yes, I agree, because her baby is not even 2, and she wants to have another baby with some dude who is in jail, didn't tell her that he was married previously, and has 6 fucking kids. He doesn't need another one. Like, what in the actual fuck? I don't get this. So, but she's like, "Today's been a day. I've learned a lot of things that I didn't know. I hope that's everything. I hope he doesn't have any little surprises for me because I still want to marry him. I love him. They all love their partners. I love him. I still want to marry him. Oh my God. Even his sisters say Jamal has a lot of growing up to do. If this is going to work at all, Jamal needs to grow up, be honest, be straightforward, because Ayana didn't know that he was married, and Ayana had it in her head that she was going to be the first wife, fifth baby mama this whole time, and now she's going to be the second wife, fifth baby mama, and that's not doing it for her. Okay, she wanted to be the first wife. All I have to say is, girl, I don't even know. So she said it was a lot to take in. I'm like, it was a lot to take in for you. It was a lot to take in for me, girl. Like, what are you going to do with this information? But she's going to jail soon. And like she said, walking up to Jamal's sisters and saying, "Hi, my name is Ayana, and I'm going to jail," would not be exactly a great, first line to meet somebody. So she's going to jail. Spoiler, she's going to serve 15 days. Check out Sarcasm for all the details. And that's about it. Let's see what happens with these fools next week. So that's basically the recap for season season 5, episode 4. And I just want to say thank you so much for all you guys for joining me tonight. And I'll see you next week. Good night, everybody. Thank you. Have a great week.